My guest today is a two-time Grammy Award nominated, and it's a great guitarist for the legendary band Ministry. Please welcome Sin Quirin. Hey Sin, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Fine, thank you. At first, I want to know who inspired you to become a guitar player?
Um, the first early influences for me were definitely Ace Frehley from Kiss and Jimi Hendrix. Those are my two biggest influences as a little kid. Probably at about 6 years old was the first time I heard Ace Frehley from Kiss, and shortly after that, I heard Jimi Hendrix. And yeah, so those two are my first major guitar influences.
Cool. What sensation have you when you play guitar in front of a crowd?
It is, to me, it's the ultimate high. I am the most comfortable being up on stage. That's where I feel the most natural, the most comfortable, and it's the greatest feeling in the world for me is being up on stage. There's nothing, there's no other high. I don't drink, smoke, or do drugs. I never have in my life. So to me, that's kind of like my drug.
You play with a metal legend, Al Jourgensen, in the legendary band named Ministry. Tell me the story how you joined the group.
Well, many years ago, I want to say in the early 2000s, I was in my old band Society One, and we had a booking agent who was also Ministry's booking agent, and he initially introduced me to Al Jourgensen, and also Paul Raven, rest in peace, also played bass in my old band Society One, and he was also connected to Al, and he was also one that was instrumental in introducing me to Al and kind of getting my foot in the door. And I met Al, and he said, well, if I need a guitar player, I'll call you. And it took a couple of years, but he called me, and I first came into the Revolting Cocks in late 2005, early 2006. And then later, in 2006, I started working on Ministry's The Last Sucker album, and I, just have been here ever since.
Next question about Al Jourgensen. You have some reputation in the music industry. Have you been afraid to work with him?
Not at all. I've never been afraid to work with Al or with anyone. So yeah, no, I've never even.
From your personal point of view, did the group improve, step up since the first album you have done with the band Ministry?
Is that what yeah, definitely. I mean, the first record I worked on was The Last Sucker, and I was in the studio co-writing that record in 2006. So I think our writing has gotten better. My playing has definitely gotten better. So I definitely see a big improvement from The Last Sucker to Amerikkkant. Every record along the way I think has gotten better and better. But yeah, definitely a big improvement.
Which Grammy nomination had meaning the most to you?
For me, probably the first one, just because it was so unexpected. The second one as well, but I guess there's nothing like that first feeling, or the first time you hear that you're being nominated for a Grammy. So I would probably have to say the first nomination, and that was for Under My Thumb off of our Cover Up album.
The album Amerikkkant was released a couple of days before. Can you explain why the group have decided to move on with a new album?
I mean, well, that was Al's, decision. Ultimately, it's Al's decision. But we had been talking about it for the past year and a half or so, and after the last few tours, he was feeling good. Things were feeling good on tour, and I think it was just he just felt it was time to put another record together, and especially with the political climate that's happening out here, I think it was just the right time.
The album Amerikkkant addressed which subject?
Well, I mean, a lot has to do with the politics that are happening out here in the U.S. at the moment, and just the general state of the U.S. right now, and how it just sort of feels like it's being run by, you know, by a bunch of lunatics out there. So that's has a lot to do with the subject matter on the album.
I have read that the band will be playing on tour with Joey Jordison and Burton C. Bell, just to name those guys. Do you think it could be the best lineup of all time for Ministry?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've known all those guys for a long time, and they've been friends for a long time. So it's always great to be on the road with people that you know and you're familiar with, and are all very talented individuals. So yeah, I definitely think it could be one of the best lineups.
The tour will be stopped in Montreal next April 15. What is your appreciation of the Canadian crowd?
Man, the fans in Canada have always been amazing to us. It's always a pleasure to go there and to do shows there because the fans are so appreciative and very much into the band and always been very supportive. So we're always looking forward to getting up to Canada when we can.
Just to say, I hope you have a great tour with the guys. Keep on playing for the best of all fans of the band Ministry.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Sin Quirin, and have a nice day.
Thank you, man. Have a good one.
Bye.